The very controversial GeForce RTX 5060 is now on the test bench. So the test bench actually has a Ryzen 9 9950X 3D, 16 cores, 32 threads, which obviously nobody would have with a 5060 8 gig GPU, but this is the test bench. So we just want to make sure there's no bottlenecks when it comes to testing this bottleneck. So yeah, let's get into some of this. Just to make sure the test bench was all sound, we had the RTX 5080 on here and ran a whole bunch of tests. Now we're also making sure that the drivers are up to date because sometimes there's newer drivers for newer GPUs. Loading up Tech PowerUp's GPU-Z, we see a few details. So the 48 ROPs that we have, yep, that's good. 120 TMUs, yes. PCIe 5.0, it's by 8, it's not by 16, and you can physically see that on the GPU. Memory size is 8 gigs and bus bandwidth 128 bits. And we have our GPU clock, memory clock speeds, and our boost clock. Let's check out the PCI Express feature test. It'll show us how much bandwidth we have with this PCIe 5.0 by 8. And the motherboard is the ROG Crosshair X870E Extreme. So it has all the power that we need. And yes, both slots are actually PCIe Gen 5.0, and this is a 9950X 3D. The bandwidth test has commenced, and so far we're getting about 28-29 gigabytes per second. So an expected score, while the 5080 for reference did about 65 gigabytes per second. This is Speedway, a ray tracing centered benchmark, and we're getting around 34-35 FPS. A score of 3454, while the 5070 Ti got a score of 7653. That's a bit of a gap. Even the 4070 Ti did way better. If you wish to dabble in the basics of AI, like AI text generation, well, you might be disappointed. Not enough VRAM. It does only have 8 gigs. And that's just basic text generation. We didn't even get into image generation or anything else. Here I'm running Star Citizen in the best possible scenario, an isolated space station where nobody else is around, and it is still kind of a stuttery, it's a stuttery, very low 1% low experience. DLSS is on, and it is giving me some very nice frame rates, but you can tell it's kind of a struggle bus. As you can tell, we are running out of VRAM. Now this is playing in 4K, but the 5060 Ti, which has 16 gigs of VRAM, played this very smoothly. In fact, I made a whole video about how I was impressed about the quality of Star Citizen with that GPU. This GPU, yeah, no, lower resolutions is better. And finally for this GPU, Monster Hunter Wilds benchmark. Let's see how this does. To ASUS's credit, this has been a very quiet GPU, even though we've been hammering it. And it's on performance mode, it's not even on the quiet setting. Additionally, it's not using this plug, the 12-volt high power, it's using the old school one, which is fine. That's actually cool. 49 FPS in 4K versus 71 FPS in 4K with the 5070. So yeah, there's a big gap right there. For those curious about Blender benchmark, this is a similar score to an RTX 3070 Ti laptop GPU. Yeah, that's... So the 5060 honestly just shouldn't exist as an 8 gig model. It needs at least 12 gigs or 16 gigs. Like, yeah, it needs a boost. The 8 gigs are just really hampering it, but devil's advocate, there are a huge amount of gamers where the 5060 8 gig is still going to be a major upgrade for them, and they can't afford a $600, $700, $800 GPU that could actually be worth the upgrade. So yeah, we need bottom of the barrel GPUs, yes, for those that could actually experience a better gaming performance. So I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below about that type of demographic needing some type of GPU, and it still needs 12 or 16 gigs of VRAM.